Hello, everyone. It's Simo. Welcome back to another podcast episode. I'm so excited to have you back. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about the creator economy as well as what a decentralized ad network means for small businesses and content creators and anybody in the digital marketing space. So, let's dive right into it. I would like to preface this episode by saying that if you are not in the digital space as a content creator or an entrepreneur, you are definitely missing out. I really do believe that this is the perfect time for anybody to go ahead and start monetizing their skill sets, even if you don't think you have what it takes to go ahead and start providing service to people. Just understand that you have lived a life in which you have had to learn different skills, so you can actually package these skills up and you can sell these skills as products or services to an audience. And we're going to be talking about all of that in this episode today. Let's dive right in. I'm very excited to share with you guys everything that I've learned thus far in my journey. So essentially, when it comes to tech and the world of tech, things are progressing very, very quickly. We've seen that only in 2014, I believe the first iPhone came out, or 2012 or something like that, right? And now it's 2022, and already our phones are like little computers in our pockets. So things have really wildly progressed. Obviously, change doesn't happen overnight. Winter does not just become summer, right? It needs spring to go ahead and complete that transition. So things take time to evolve and complete. However, the nature of progress is one that is steady and one that is forward moving and forward thinking. And that is exactly how the technological age has been progressing thus far. We've only been moving up, and we've only been moving forward, and we've only been moving in one direction. And that is imperative to what it is that I'm going to cover in this episode today. Because when it comes to the internet as a whole, things are changing. Things are changing rapidly in the field of marketing and in the field of the ad network space. The entire internet as a whole is moving from a centralized internet to a decentralized internet. So what this means is that large stakeholders in the tech field, like Google and Apple and Facebook, have now slowly been places for creators to go ahead and start their own ventures at. However, what this means is that because there is such a surplus of the creator economy on these platforms, the internet as a whole is slowly moving to be a decentralized internet, as well as what that entails is having a decentralized ad network as well. So, the internet as we know it, just for some background context, contains all these different basic modalities of function, right? You have everything on the internet. You have the market on the internet. You have ad networks on the internet. You have social media barracudas on the internet, and all these tech giants that take up a large space of the internet and a large space of user consumption. And so what has been happening with the centralized internet that has included a centralized ad network is that a lot of businesses have been paying for ads over the past 10 years, over the past, ever since the internet actually really came out. But slowly, we've been seeing a shift, even over the past decade, to a decentralized ad network and to a decentralized internet overall. This is not something, again, that has happened overnight. It's been going on for a very long time. It's just only now that in 2022, with the rise of digital currency like crypto, we are seeing a major shift. We're seeing a major involvement. And, crypto, again, has been around for a while, but it only really took off, I'd say, in the past 2 years or so, right? 2-3 years, right? But that doesn't mean that it hasn't been around long before that. So things take a while to come to the surface and to be a norm amongst people and to be seen and really digested among, the majority of, the population. But that doesn't mean that they haven't been brewing underground for a very long time, right? So as we shift slowly to a decentralized internet, which includes a decentralized ad network as a whole, a lot of changes are going to start happening. They've already been happening, but they're going to continue to happen. So what this means for small brands and businesses is this. No longer will Facebook advertising and paid advertising, just as a whole, really be a norm. You will start to see a shift, if you haven't already, if you haven't been paying attention, you'll start to see a shift from, advertisements being in magazines or newspapers or in print, or even paid ads, paid Instagram ads, paid Facebook ads, paid TikTok ads, right? you'll start to see a shift from that to more organic generated content, more user-friendly content, more content that caters to the consumption of the consumer themselves, which is really, really good for small tech startups, for content creators, for digital creators, for micro-influencers, etc. And why this is really good for, particularly these companies is that, the transfer of power will start to slowly happen. You'll slowly start to see a transfer of power in which organic marketing is taking over paid ads and paid advertising and paid marketing, right? So I say this all the time. If you're not on Instagram, if you're not on TikTok, nobody knows who you are. And I say that with all the respect in the world, because it is very crucial that, even if you're Kylie Jenner, right, no matter who you are, right, you should at least stay on top of technological trends, because like I've mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, things change rapidly over time all of the time. So, it's not just that things change year to year, but things change on a micro level month to month, and then on an even smaller fractal level day to day. So if you can keep an eye out for these trends, and if you're somebody that has a business, right, again, like I said, even if you're Kylie Jenner, right, like, if you have a business, it is important to keep an eye out for how these trends are moving, in what direction things are moving, right? Oh, okay, so the internet is now becoming more decentralized. A lot of the monopolization is kind of dissipating as power is being handed over to smaller creators, right, and smaller tech startups, right? So that's really important to keep an eye out for and to be mindful of, so that you can identify which side of the equation you're on. Are you on the consuming side of content, or are you on the production side of content? Because like I mentioned, anybody in the world can have a brand or business that runs and that generates passive income for them and that they use to serve other people. And I'd like to preface any sort of business discussion by saying that business is about service. You are not in the business of business to run a business. You are in the business of business to provide service to people, right? To the audience, the select audience that you are trying to serve. Because when you can provide value to people, free value to people, content in which you are teaching people, right? They view you as an authority. They view you as a reputable teacher in your field, in the field that you cater to, or operate within. So what happens when people view you as an authority, when your audience begins to view you as an authority, is that there is a higher likelihood that they will subscribe to or purchase your products or services. However, that is probability based, and that should never be the goal, right? Because if you're in the business of business just to sell or just to make sales, then go work in sales, right? I say this all the time. Go work for a company that will give you commission for your sales. You will have a much easier time doing that. It'll be much less stressful for you, right? Because we all got to eat, right? So go do that then. Go find yourself a sales job then, right? Because if you are in the online space as a digital creator, an influencer, an entrepreneur, a small tech startup, and you are trying to simply sell, you're not going to have you're not going to see growth. You're not going to see growth. You're not going to see scalable growth. Number one. Number two. Number three, you're not going to see ROI, because if you look at it as if you're watching a bar chart or a graph, right? You have to have a certain amount of momentum. This is exactly what I was talking about when it comes to trends, right? You don't just go from winter to summer, right? You have to have some amount of momentum from winter to spring to summer. There has to be momentum built for the end goal, which in this example would be reaching summertime, right? There has to be momentum built. And so when it comes to even like a line graph, right? If you watch the market or what have you, like you'll see how, with the candlesticks, it's slowly a gradual increase over time, step by step by step. Things move up slowly, and it's the same thing with the opposite case moving downward. So things take time to build on themselves. So if you're simply in the business of making sales, if you're simply just trying to make sales with your business or your brand, you're always going to reach a plateau. You're always going to have a plateau because you are looking at your goal as being one-dimensional, okay? Right? And so you're out here trying to really like pitch yourself and strive to make sales and all these things. And without establishing yourself as an authority first or a teacher first, right? How are you providing value to people and solving their problems for them? You're not, right? You're simply just trying to make sales. So people will not view you as somebody that they will trust enough to buy from or to purchase any service from. And at the end of the day, you are a creator because you wish to create, right? You are a creator because you wish to create and you wish to give. That's the thing about creation. Whether you are a tech giant or a small startup, right? Your products and services ideally should be free for the most part. They should be pro bono because you are ensuring that your audience has enough of a place to operate, right? And enough of a place to establish trust within you, right? Within your services. So this is really, really important. And this is actually what all these tech giants do, like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Their platforms are free, which is another reason why organic marketing is really skyrocketing, because a lot of people are realizing that they would like to start their own business now as the internet becomes more and more changeable and user-friendly. And so a lot of people are taking to these social media platforms, guys, to start their businesses. And so a lot less people are working actual corporate jobs, right? And a lot more people are finding ways to make income online, being a service provider or a teacher or a mentor, which ultimately, is the same thing at the end of the day, because you're going to have a product or service that you package up to sell to your audience, right? That trusts you, right? So a lot of people are moving more towards the online space and more towards these social media platforms. So what that means is that a lot more control is being given to content creators on these platforms, and a lot less control is being given to large corporations, just as a whole. Okay, and when I say control, I'm talking about visibility. That's what control is. Okay, so again, like I mentioned, if you're not on TikTok or Instagram or what have you, like nobody really knows who you are. Your visibility is your asset, right? That's your control. You have a certain amount of control. Let's say you have like 50K on any social media platform. You have an audience of 50K. You have control over what those 50K, give or take, or let's just say 25K people. Let's reduce that by half because analytics, right? So you have control over what, let's say, 25K people or even 20K people or 15K people are going to see that day on your stories, on your feed, on your TikTok reels, whatever, right? You have control over what content you are giving to people and what help and education, free value content you are providing to people, right? And so that is your sphere of influence. That is exactly what control is. Control is a sphere of influence, right? So in that way, now that you've provided free content and you provided value to your audience, they have seen you as somebody that shows up every single day consistently on these platforms. And over time, you will also have learned so much in your field, in your niche, that you will have become an authority to go ahead and lead a community of people. Or, I don't really like the term lead in this circumstance, more so formulate a community of people in which everybody has the same problems that they would like to solve. Everybody has the same goals and desires and shared common interests as a common denominator of, how they would like to progress, whether that's fiscally, personally, what have you, right? So that is very important. The power of forming a community is it's priceless. Because look, even if these tech giants shut down like Instagram did in September of 2021 for like a day, right? Even if these tech giants shut down, you're still going to have your community. So a community, at the end of the day, is what you should be striving to form as a business owner, a small startup, or a content creator, a digital creator, right? A community is what you should be really striving to form. And you can do that in various ways. There are various ways to form communities. There are lots of tools that you can use for that. At the end of the day, it's really just about providing value, right? Look at Facebook. Facebook is free to go ahead, use and access and build a Facebook group on, right? Have a community on there, right? Instagram is free to use and access and build a community on Instagram. Same thing with TikTok. So we have all the tools that we need. Really, we do. And there are many other different apps. If you'd like to learn more about which tools I personally use and which tools I've seen really pop off in the creator economy, go ahead and follow my Instagram account, None of Their Biz. So, these are the things that we have free access to. We should be utilizing them. We should be utilizing Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, no matter who you are. It maybe costs how much did it cost me? I'm not sure, but it probably costs $800 to file your business name, right? That's an investment, right? So after that, the majority of your streamlining is free, right? Besides, we can get into the fiscal part of it in another episode, right? Obviously, you need to pay operative costs each month to different platforms and stuff like that. But in general, it doesn't or maybe it costs less than $800 to file your business, right? Official business name, and to get it registered, right? So my point is that anybody and everybody can do this. Even if you don't have the exact amount of money right now, understand that you can file in the future and you can make this a reality, right? And you do have services and skills that the world needs. The world needs to hear your story. And you do have value to provide to people. I think that's the biggest thing, right? People think that they can't start a business because they don't have value to provide, or they don't know what they'll talk about, or they don't feel like they're interesting enough. Your personal brand is you. It is your story. It is the value that you provide to people, and it is the personality that you have as you teach and provide value to people towards the problems that you'd like to solve for them. That is your personal brand. Everything else, like the aesthetics of it and the branding, the font, the all of those other things, are just like the clothes, on the body. But the meat and the bare bones and like everything else, that is you and everything that I mentioned. Your personality, your story, and your ability to provide value. That is your personal brand, period. Okay, so all of us have a personal brand. Whether you know that or not, you are your own walking, talking personal brand. Okay, and a lot of, even if you want to get into like celebrity culture and things like that, a lot of these celebrities have built personal brands simply off of their very existence, which makes them celebrities in a way. But not only that, you've seen that a lot of celebrities have actually started business and startups of their own, right? Like I mentioned, Kylie Jenner, just as an example, probably has an entire team of psychologists and tech analysts that, keep her other team up to date on what she should be doing when it comes to marketing her products. Because marketing is huge when it comes to anything that you are selling. When it comes to anything that you are selling in your business, or when it comes to even just having a business in the first place. If you are not marketing your products, if you are not being seen, if you don't have visibility, nobody knows you and nobody is going to purchase from you. And purchasing is like the last step of the entire sequence of steps anyway, right? So don't even focus on the purchasing of your products. Don't even focus on the sales. Focus on visibility. Focus on marketing. Focus on organic outreach. Focus on training the algorithms on whichever platform that you decide to pursue. For really pushing your brand out there. Focus on training the algorithm, right? Focus on really providing organic user-generated content that can help other people and that actually teaches people how to solve a problem that they have, that you're passionate about helping them with, right? And if you go on TikTok, you'll notice, just as an example, even on Instagram, you'll notice that a lot of these paid ads have become so user-friendly and they've become so, personalized even. They look so organic. So, I'll be on TikTok and it'll take me like 10 minutes to figure out, or like 10 seconds more so, to figure out that I'm actually viewing a paid ad because it looks like such a real trending organic video, right? The video has trending sounds, it has trending text. The formatting of the video is that which is a trending format right now on the TikTok platform. Like, it looks like a very real, organically marketed video. So that's like huge because literally like that makes me interested immediately as a user into what they're selling. Like, I become immediately interested as to what it is that they are selling to me, right? What product or service they're providing, right? because the video looks so authentic and organic, right? So that is like the main focus when it comes to marketing now, is how organic can you make your content? How organic can you market your product or service? And how can you do that in a way that is financially friendly to your business, number one, but also number two, scalable to your business? Because guess what? Growth, like I mentioned before, doesn't really happen if you are focused on making sales and if you are simply doing things like paid advertising. Growth doesn't happen like that, right? Growth doesn't happen in that way. Growth happens when you can build a community and when you can actually create content that generates more visibility over time, meaning you are growing your following, you are growing your community, you are growing the eyes, the visibility that sees you, right? The eyes that see you, right? You are growing all these things. So you are scaling your business. You are scaling, you are climbing. Like I mentioned, the step-by-steps, when it comes to anything, market trends, trends in nature, right? Even if you just want to look at gravity, like things start from a high point and then they take a few seconds or so to drop to a low point. Nothing just teleports, right? Nothing is instant, right? So it's basic physics that things have to be scalable and things have to be, things have to have the proper established foundation to be scalable. And this is especially important in business, because if you are not building the proper foundations to go ahead and build something that is scalable, you are going to be going nowhere in business. You're going to be running like on a hamster wheel. You see what I'm saying? Or like running on a treadmill, right? And this is a lot of people's issue when it comes to business, and then you get hyper-focused on making sales. You get hyper-focused on wanting to sell because you're like, okay, hey, I'm actually really not making money from this venture. I need ROI. I have, back-end processes that I need to be paying for. I have inventory. I have all these things. I have even, employees, right? So people get really frustrated and then they get hyper-focused on needing to sell, and that's the exact wrong direction that you want to be going in. You don't want to go in that direction, right? That is the wrong direction that you want to be going in. You want to be actually instead focusing on, okay, how can I actually make my content more user-friendly and gain more visibility? How can I actually network with people who are doing what I'm doing and get value from them and actually get mentorship from them and build networking connections in that way, right? Like that is what you want to be focusing on. And then because when you can do that, you build a community even of people that are doing exactly what you're doing. So you get a few things. Number one, you get free education. Number two, you get support. And number three, you get ideas for, how you can further repackage or repurpose your products or services, number one. Number two, build more stable foundations for, organic marketing. Number three, build more stable foundations for scaling, right? You can learn more about which tools you need to use, which applications you need to be using, which systems you need to be automating or kind of integrating into your business, right? All these kinds of things. So, I am so excited about the fact that we're moving slowly into a decentralized ad network and a decentralized internet overall. I think it's blissful. I think it's beautiful. I think it gives a lot of creative control and a lot of creative power to, small startups in tech and just small startups, overall small businesses as well, right? Content creators, micro-influencers, right? And that makes me very happy to see, because no longer will small creators be taken advantage of by larger companies that will pay you close to nothing for a brand deal or for a video or or anything that it is that you would like to do, right? And this is why, again, the world of tech is so amazing, because the trends continue. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing plateaus. Nothing is flatlining. Everything just continues to grow and build upon itself. Like the entire world of tech itself is scalable, right? So that's very, very, very exciting for me. And it's even more thrilling and exciting and challenging when you see change happening and you have to adjust your business or system processes to kind of match that. Let's say an algorithm changes or what have you. You have to really study the algorithm to go ahead and be able to kind of steer your content in that direction. And that's huge, because number one, you get better content performance, right? When you do that and when you stay up to date with your studying. And number two, you get to learn more about how things are progressing as a whole in the technological world overall. Because when an algorithm changes on TikTok, it doesn't just change on TikTok. You can bet that Instagram probably changed their algorithm as well, right? You can bet that Facebook probably is about to change their algorithm as well, right? And you can bet the new systems of operation will probably be introduced to Facebook soon. Like, for example, TikTok was the first platform to explode businesses with its short-form video content creation. Then Instagram adopted the Reels functionality, right? And Instagram introduced Reels to go ahead and try to keep up with TikTok, right? And then Instagram exploded its organic user reach with Reels, right? And so now people can explode their businesses even further on Instagram using Reels. And then Facebook came up with a Reels option that is right next to the status, like posting a status option, right? You can go ahead and just click Reels and you can upload all your repurposed TikTok content to Facebook Reels, which is, come on. There's literally no better way to explode reach, to explode your visibility, and to get yourself out there as an established content creator and a teacher and an authority in your field of education. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you are a small business owner, content creator, micro-influencer, small tech startup, or what have you, this is just a reminder to keep going, and that business is about service at the end of the day. It's not about business. Actually, the term business is such an umbrella term. It's such a loose term, right? Really what it is about providing value to people at the end of the day. And the best way we can do that in today's day and age is via the internet, that is slowly becoming more and more decentralized and more of an open sort of pond to various content creators all over the world. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm so happy to have you here. I literally could talk about this topic forever. It's one of my favorite topics to ever discuss. If you have any questions, don't be shy. Go ahead and reach out to me on ai.sima at Instagram. Go ahead and follow my Instagram account at noneoftheirbiz on Instagram, and I will talk to you guys in my next podcast. Peace.